Thank you very much. Great to be on here.
Well, when it comes to life insurance on its own, my life is in the hand of God. What do you mean by life insurance?
Your life is in the hand of God, no doubt about it, right? And that's also one of the misconceptions people always have about insurance. You hear the part of, if I get insurance, that means I don't believe in God, right? Or but really, if you look at life insurance, is simply saying that should something happen to you, right? Nobody expects that I will die tomorrow, but should something happen to you, you know that your family are well secured. You know that there's a better life for your children, for your wife, your husband. That at least, okay, while I'm not around, I might be the breadwinner, but while I'm not around, because I've taken a life insurance, there's something that will be given to them. There's a box that will be paid to them that would, yes, the life nothing can be compared or can be weighed to a life, but at least you know that when you're living, in case something happens unexpectedly, others are well taken care of while they're still here. So that's the essence of life insurance. We cover you to ensure that, look, in case something happens to you, and it's not just in terms of death, it's also in terms of, critical illness, you have disabilities. So you have a man that is working, provided for the family, and all of a sudden has an accident and cannot work, right? His life is insured, and there's certain amount of money that is paid to him to ensure that, okay, the family does not fill that gap when it comes to financial resources. So that's another.
And I heard you say when something happens. Now, when you talk of life insurance, for example, what are those things that life insurance covers? Because, for example, is it when the person is late? Is it when the person is unable to provide the family, maybe is retrenched? Or is it when the person is sick? What really does that life insurance cover?
So life insurance covers death, when death occurs to the insured, permanent disability, right? So when we say permanent disability, something that happens that you are not able to earn a living. So a person has an accident and goes blind, he can't do anything, or he loses both hands, he can't walk again. So life insurance covers that death, permanent disability, critical illness. You have major illnesses, certain illnesses that occur that you cannot go to work, you cannot do anything. Yes, it's covered under it. So all these are under life insurance. So it's not just about death.
Death, okay. So since, which is good, because a lot of people will say, I don't want to put money, in an insurance company, then until I'm dead before I can benefit from the money. So let's look at, you speak about critical illness. There are many people that fall sick, but let's understand what qualifies as critical illness.
Okay, when we talk about critical illness, we're talking about serious medical conditions.
Okay.
It's always life-threatening, right? And it requires immediate and extensive medical intervention for survival. That's the major thing about. So 2 factors always about critical illness is, number one, it's life-threatening. And the second thing is that it always requires a specialized treatment, and this makes it very expensive.
Okay.
Yes.
So you want to give examples? What kind of critical illnesses are we looking at?
Okay. When you talk about cancer, it's a critical illness. When we talk about stroke, when we talk about going to a coma, organ transplants, major organ transplants, your heart, liver, kidney, yes, those are critical illness.
But apart from those transplants, stroke, cancerous diseases and all that, these are illnesses that require continuous expenditure. So if a life insurance, does life insurance cover continuous expenditure? Is it a one-time thing that life insurance would give?
Okay, so the advantage of a critical illness insurance policy is that you are given a lump sum. So you can decide, okay, look, I want to insure myself for 30 million, for 15 million, for 10 million. So whatever sum you've insured, that's what will be paid to you, which you now have to take care of yourself.
Okay, but at least you have a lump sum that
exactly,
you could use
lump sum. That's the beautiful thing about it. You get a lump sum that will allow you the opportunity to really take care of yourself.
Yeah, and when you talk of that, when you're talking of this, an average 21-year-old who's just out of the university doesn't care. It tells you, I don't need, let me enjoy life before I enjoy the life. So if you're going to enjoy life, at what age really should someone begin to consider, like, okay, I want to do life insurance?
Well, honestly, if we were decades ago, right, I'd probably say, maybe your 40s, 50s, but right now we've heard instances of a 26, 30-year-old having cancer, having stroke. Right. So believe me, once you're 18, between 18 and 59, you should start considering critical illness. Because look, the life you want to enjoy, if something happens to you, right, you get your disease, get one of these illnesses, you cannot enjoy it. But when you have that insurance in place, then you have an opportunity of recovering and enjoying that life.
Okay, so now, I spoke about health earlier because we're in the health month, and that's at Lagos Talks. Now we're talking a lot on health-related issues. People are going into health insurance.
Yes.
Two questions in one. What's the difference between health insurance and life insurance? And if there's a difference, should one do both simultaneously?
Okay. Yes, there's a difference. Right. When you have your health insurance, you have, let me put it as plain as possible. Right. When we talk about health insurance, we're saying you can go to the hospital to treat yourself for almost all kind of illnesses. Right. We're saying malaria, typhoid. You could just walk into a hospital under your HMO cover, and then you can have access to these medicals. You can have access to dentists, to opticians, and so forth under a regular health insurance. Now, the difference between that, life insurance covers certain things, right? Number one, like I said, death. When a death occurs, life insurance pays. When there's a permanent disability, when there's a temporary disability, when there's a critical illness. And one major difference that you get for life insurance, you get paid lump sum of money to take care of yourself. For health insurance, you get taken care of.
Okay.
Do you get it? So for health insurance, your money is there. You go to the hospital, they pay for everything. But for life insurance, you're paid a lump sum of money.
So you do whatever you want with it.
Do, exactly.
If you feel that you don't want to take care of yourself, you just want to give it to your kids to take care of themselves while you depart, that's up to you. Okay. All right. So, and for health insurance, it means that you are more at the mercy of the hospital. You go there, they give you what they feel you need, and
exactly. So
you cannot decide that I don't like this, I don't like that.
Yeah. So for health insurance, you have your regular hospital visits, regular health check. Yes. But for life, it's focused. Then I think you asked the question that can you have both?
Both, yes.
Yes, I think it's advisable you have both. While your health insurance will take care of the regular, less expensive treatments, your life insurance, critical insurance policy will actually give you that lump sum. So, for example, most health insurance, let's say, don't have that extensive threshold to cover for critical illnesses or illnesses that are really massive.
Okay.
Right. So when you have the life insurance, especially the critical illness insurance, it helps you to cover that part. Yeah. So for example, you have the client has a kidney problem. Health insurance probably cover for 3 or 4 dialysis.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
And that's it. But with the critical illness insurance policy, you get that lump sum, which takes care of the transplants, surgery fees for the transplants, post and pre diagnosis, whatever you need. Yes.
Okay, and all that.
So it's always good to have one complements the other.
Okay, but when you're doing life insurance, how does one go about it? Because for you to get lump sum, do you need to put in a lump sum yourself? How affordable is it for the average Nigerian?
Okay, for the average, you could go to the cinema on a Saturday, watch a movie, popcorn, drinks, and spend nothing less than 20,000.
Yes.
With that same 20,000, you can actually get a life cover for a whole year. So it's very affordable. Yes, you can. For a critical illness, for any life, you can get as low as 20,000 naira, right, for a whole year. So you're paying 20,000 for a whole year. You can get, so it's very affordable. And Coronation Life Assurance, our pricings are also very, very considerate, very, very flexible. So yes, it's very affordable.
So 20,000. And you'll be covered for life. Or you do that annually.
You do that annually.
And if you're paying that kind of amount, what is the output expected figure you would get? And is there a limit? You must pay it for this period of years before you qualify, or you can pay in January and by June you get 30 million. Okay,
so not to complicate matters, it's actually a straightforward thing. Okay. Most times, most insurance companies take annual premiums. So you pay once a year and you're covered for that full year. The moment you make your payments,
you're covered.
The moment your cover starts immediately. So even if you pay today and something happens tomorrow, you get entitlement to your full amount, right? And when it comes to the sum assured, that's how much you'll be paid, right? There are a lot of factors in it, but you can say, because your age will determine, someone that is a 20-year-old and a 50-year-old, right? It's coming for the same risk. The risk is higher, and so the payout to be different, the premium will be different. But really, let's just look at an average of 20,000. You can get up to 1 million sum assured. for the whole year. So in case anything happens, you pay that immediately. Yeah.
So is it cumulative that if you pay, let's say 20,000 like every year for the next 5 years, is it still the same 1 million you get, or is going to be now going to be a cumulative effect where you get a larger sum?
Oh, it's a contract.
Okay,
It's annual. So after this year, once you pay the 20, what I'm saying is for this year, in case anything happens to you, I'm right here to take care of you.
Okay.
Right. So if the year goes by, the next year we'll start our negotiation again. Start the contract again. This year again, I'll watch over you.
All right. So now let's look at this. Nigerians have this issue with healthcare, with insurance. We often believe that. Let me just say this. I know someone who, it was marketed to insure his house, not even life now, property insurance and all that. He insured everything in the house. And he's been doing it religiously for like 3 or 4 years. Nothing happens. This area is safe. So that year decides, let me just rest. I don't have money. Unfortunately, someone I know very well, we're in church together. By the time 2 hours after church service, he calls me and says his house has been burgled. Is it 50-something or 60-something inch TV taken away? His house was emptied. It's quite a reserved area in estates. And I said, so reach out to your insurance company. He said, I didn't insure this year. And, so Nigerians have this concern about what will happen, Jerry. Let me not bother myself. I've been doing it for so long. And I don't have any need for it. What is there in life insurance that will make an average Nigerian who will tell you, I travel every year. I'm not traveling this year, so I don't need life insurance. But I'd like you to respond to that after this break. And let's take a short break. We'll be right back.
Good morning. It's the early edition.
Welcome back to the studio right here at Lagos Talks 91.3 FM. My guest this morning is Kehinde Grillo, Head of Partnership at Coronation Life Assurance. We're just trying to understand what the benefits of insurance is, or what the benefits are, and if there's any need for Nigerians to get insured. So my last question to you before the break.
Okay, yes. So there's something I always tell people, right? Insurance is something that you should have. It's better to have and not need than need and not have.
Okay, it's better to have and not need than to need it
and not have it. Yes, because that's a lot of Nigerians have that mentality that, like you said, nothing has happened, so I don't need. The day something happens. So let me give you 2 examples. You pay 20,000 every year to cover your property of, let's say, 1 million naira, right? And you pay for 5 years. That's 100,000.
Yes.
And then something happens one day, and 1 million worth of things are taken. You cannot categorize the losses. 100,000 to 1 million. You can see it's just a tiny thing you're paying for insurance.
Yeah.
So I always tell people, it's best just have it. You never can tell. Everybody assumes that nothing will happen until something happens.
Yeah.
And by the time when something happens, the question is, are you insured or not? You've seen people put their phone on their laps and all of a sudden just stand up and the phone falls. Nobody expects that. Look, today I'm going to start looking for exactly. But if it's insured, that's one of the things we say. Insurance gives you that peace of mind, gives you that financial stability. You don't have to start looking for, this has happened. We've had instances where you hear people raising funds for a person that got healed, right? Those are the things that insurance will help cover. You don't need to start raising funds. If you're covered under, let's say, critical illness insurance, you don't need to go out. You have that peace of mind. A lot of people, really, I even think about it, a lot of people don't even want people to know that they are ill, that they have those kind of ailments. But because there's no fund, people start going outside to raise money, start selling assets, dip into your savings. And those are things that you could just pass your risk to the insurance company. So it's a small sum of money you're paying to secure yourself from something that some people never recover from it. Some people never recover from it. Yes, I have a building, I have a house that stores my goods that I sell. All of a sudden it gets burnt. And have millions and millions of things. Some people never recover from it.
I mean, like you said, well, maybe this is personal and selfish, but I feel that an average businessman should insure for life and property and everything, because after all, unfortunately, you pass it on to the consumer. Unfortunately, we will bear the brunt, But beyond that, is there any cashback policy for life insurance?
Yes, yes. Like Coronation Life Assurance, we have cashback policies if you're interested in it, yes. So if no claim occurs in the year, something comes back to you, right? Either at your renewal of the next year for the policy, something comes back, you get a discount on what you're paying for the next year, yes.
Okay, all right. Maybe that'll be more exciting to the average listener, because when I talk of life insurance, people are wondering, nothing to do my life. My life did the hand of God. Someone will say, this life, under this economy, now person will get life, they insure them now. but you're saying that there is always a reason to insure your life, because all what you're doing right now is because you have life.
Exactly.
That's why you're able to even complain or contribute or comment or make money, or even check the lady you see next door, say this lady is pretty. That's because you have life. So insure that life and get better, quality of life. All right. So now, if for someone who wants to get into insurance, life insurance, how does one begin the process?
Okay, I think the simplest thing is just get in touch with Coronation Life Assurance. That's the number one thing. Just
reach out to market yourself, right?
just reach out to us. Really, so for life insurance, there are a lot of plans that you can look at. So if you're coming for a life insurance policy, things are advice. What do you want? Right, you can look at, okay, what does it cover? What are those things that are covered under life insurance? Like I said, you can have death, you can have permanent disability, you can have temporary disability, you can have critical illness. All this can be covered under your life insurance. So you can decide, okay, these are the things I want for this, my cover. This is the amount I want to be covered for. So in case any of this occur, this is the lump sum I want to receive. Then I always advise people that always check when you're talking to an insurance person, check the policy. Right? What are the yes we'll treat, and these are exclusions, because there are also exclusions to certain things that we do not cover. Okay. So always ensure you read through those things to have better understanding. Where we usually have a lot of issues, where people tell you that I have an issue with my insurance companies, probably they never went through the policy, they never saw the exclusions. Right? So when it now comes for claim, they say, oh, sorry, this is not covered under your policy. Then there's always that, no, I've been paying, now it's time to pay.
Yeah, okay. So first of all, understand what the exclusions are, so you know what you're covered for and what you're not.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, and that's important. But beyond that, I mean, something came to mind now, which is that a lot of people, we know how grand funerals are and how grand weddings are. Can all those things also be, qualified under or insured under life insurance?
So funeral, yes. Wedding, no. But for funeral insurance, yes, we have what we call the funeral insurance. We have the premium and the light, where you can cover yourself, your spouse, your parents, and your spouse's parents.
Okay.
So you can have 6 people covered. So in case death occurs, you have the sum to pay for the funeral. So we have that with Coronation Life Assurance. We have a funeral plan that covers that.
So if you want to do a grand, well, I don't know who plans his funeral ahead, but you have aged parents.
With this, you have the opportunity to plan your funeral ahead. Exactly.
And decide where, so that your kids won't tell you they are broke at that time.
Just take the expense. No, you know what? You guys don't worry. Coronation Life,
we'll handle it.
Yes.
Okay. Right. So if you want to insure, is taking the opportunity to market Coronation Life. I'll send you since it's Coronation, the invoice I'll send you will give you covers. You know what you're covered for, what you're not covered for.
Exactly.
So that you can come and do more stuff. But I mean, I'm sure our listeners have learned a lot more about life insurance and how important it is, and the fact that you need to protect yourself ahead in case of any eventuality, especially in this time where, God forbid, like we all say, but this time where containers are not properly strapped. You have drunk drivers, you have bike men who are in a hurry to move from Victoria Island to Ikorodu in 10 minutes.
Take the one
and
way
come back. Yes, take the one way. And I'm sorry to say, we have a few reckless citizens who will even encourage you to do very reckless things when driving. So it's important that we insure ourselves, we get protected, and we just make sure that nobody cuts short our life, suddenly, abruptly. Since you marketed Coronation, if one wants to reach out to Coronation, how can that be done?
Okay, you can reach out to us on via email our contact center, you could just reach out to www.coronation.ng. You can call 020-1277-4500 or just send an email to contactcenter@coronationinsurance.com.ng.
Take that number again, please.
That's 020-1277-4500.
All right, 4500. That's it. So that's how you could get insured and have your life not in your hands, but at least protected if anything goes wrong. Kehinde Grillo, Head of Partnership at Coronation Life Assurance. Thank you for your time this morning.
Thank you very much, Kat.
All right, and that's how we draw the curtain right now, right here on Lagos Talks 91.3 FM. It's a Thursday, so we'll get into another edition of Sports Zone. And but at least we've told you about life, and we know we have a conversation to continue around this whole thing that we call health. There's so much that will be happening on the show today, 11 a.m. on the midday show, and later on tonight and tomorrow. So keep listening to Lagos Talks 91.3 FM. Whatever you do, and do not change your dial. Kehinde Fakoli says one thing. He says, "Le pays va mal." What does that mean, really? Le pays va mal. Things ain't going well in the country. That's what Kehinde Fakoli says. But he wasn't talking about Nigeria. He's Ivorian. So he was speaking about Ivory Coast, but let's see if that makes sense to you. We'll be right back. My name is Oluwakayode. Up next is Sports Zone.